Take number 2. Are we live? Is this working? I did have bananas in chat a second ago. Floyne, Fortunate Narado, Shinny. There's bananas again from Forgil as well. Okay, I think we're properly live now. Very good. I got stuff to talk about here. You know, Minecraft things. Like the farm that we're going to work on today. I mean, it's actually finished. We'll talk about that. And also, I've had some Patreons sign up as well. I've got that in my feed here on Slobs, which reminds me to tell all of you that there's a new season of LPM Free starting soon, and if you want to be a part of that, you can sign up through the Patreon. We also had a top tier Patreon sign up as well, and I was trying to remember what the reward was. There's posters, there's I think a mouse pad, and then figurine of Evil X. Some of the rewards on the Patreon thing. Anyway, if you want to play on the server, xisumavoid.com/getwhitelisted, go check that out. There are several ways to play, and it's Friday the 4th, not Saturday, that the new season starts. And I'm going to be live streaming that. I plan on doing at least 1 or 2 other live streams before then. Today, though, we're going to deliberately do a shorter stream. I've noticed I've been streaming for like 3.5 hours a lot, and actually want to tone that down a little bit and put some time into some other things. So today's will be a shorter stream. We've got ColeMick06 here for 11 months. Thank you ever so much for subscribing, my dude. Greatly appreciated. And what you're looking at right here is the finished Singularity farm with quite a few changes, which we're going to go over. And it's been a bit of time since I actually did all of that. So hopefully I can remember all of the details. Now, some of it involved using a spreadsheet to do some math, which I had some help from my community. I think, was it Spokey and Forgil were helping me out? So now what we have is even Singularity distribution. However, we have quite a few from what we had before. Like, you know, like there's more redstone than diamond, even though they're being produced at the same pace now. So if we have a look at the blocks coming through, right? Well, you can at least see that redstone isn't constantly getting spat out, and that's because there's only this many redstone compared to all of those and these for diamond. Yes. We also no longer need this all the way up the top here. I'll take that back. And if you remember the design, each floor had 2 things on it. Well, I've created a singular column for power and for conduits. These had extraction nodes on the back, and eventually I realized that is outside the effect of the time increasing thing. So these ones on the side and the one on top get ticked really fast, but the one at the back doesn't. But between the 4 of them, they yoink all of the essence out and then send it all the way down here to the bottom. This is where we have a bunch of crafters. And one like this, for example, will go relatively slow compared to that where you see lots are coming through. Now this is because we did some spreadsheet math where we took the essence, the amount required to make something. Let's go back to that one. So like here you get 7 for 12, so we factored that in, and then you only need 4 of the 12 to create a block. So in order to get the even amount of blocks coming through each and every time, you had to do some math. So for example over here, you need 9 for 1, and then 9 of those for a block. So that's why there's a lot more of this essence coming through. And with some crafty spreadsheet math, we were able to take those values, sort of give them a weight, distribute that weight over the 420 spaces that there are here. And so because of that, they have been, yeah, they've been put into different quantities, which means they now distribute over here balanced, which is amazing. And we've got a sub bomb coming in. Oh my goodness me. It's Geordie7859 here with 10 subs. To Peaches Smash, QDC, Koa Skotska, It's Retak, Films215, Fifth Alice, Noun Beast, Free Always 07, Phantom Governor, and Yaga10. You heard your name being read out loud. Be sure to say thanks in the chat. And Geordie, thank you as always for gifting those subs. Greatly appreciated. Geordie says, Happy January, everyone. It's the end of January, though. February, a new month. Can you believe it? A new year, and then all of a sudden it's the next month of the new year. Time just flies by, doesn't it? Thank you so much, Geordie. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, my dude. So today what we're going to do is just decoration of this farm. There isn't actually any more engineering needing to be done here. And then we'll peer into what is needed beyond these singularities to create the infinity ingots, I believe. So yeah, we're just like going to be doing a fair bit of planning today. You might notice that there's like a new cable. I've attached that to the system over here so that all this stuff could be hooked up. This works with the ender chest still, and then below there is, you know, conduits to extract and then bring them down to a drawer controller, which is attached to the A2 network, and then all the singularities are here. And yeah, it took me a few hours to do that, and now what we're going to do is just take care of the rest of this. I want to use the neutronium blocks, and I have done a fair bit of AFKing. We've received another 2,000 of these blocks, so what I'm going to do is just go, yep, I'm never going to need all of those. I might have gotten a little bit excessive there, actually. Let's now go grab a wands for building and just start to decorate this farm, essentially. Conboy, thank you ever so much for 58 months of support, my dude. Greatly appreciated. And I hope you're enjoying the day's stream. What's up, Xisuma? Says Nutbrain. Not much, just looking forward to chilling out for a little bit. It's been a busy day. Mondays always are, you know. Workouts, I go shopping. I'm on my feet a lot, cooking. And now I get to sit down for a little bit. Rich X using neutronium. Well, it's modded Minecraft, isn't it? So you can kind of go overboard with this stuff. I'm not even sure it looks that nice, but I feel like I want to use it, and we're going to use it here. So whatever the floor you're looking into is, that's going to be the view, and I think it's pretty cool. We'll expand on this a lot though. It's not going to, you know, that's not the final iteration. I just kind of knew that's what I'm going to put at the back, right? Curls says they look like black velvet, very fancy. Indeed. Curls, I didn't have time to reply to you about the progressive overload thing. So I was chatting with Curls about a lot of things, including coffee and note-taking, and yeah, progressive overload came up, which is a principle of working out where you progressively overload the amount that you're lifting over time. And when I first learned about this concept, I took it quite literally, and every workout I would try and lift more than the last time in terms of volume. So like more reps or more weight. And it worked for a period until it didn't. You know, it kind of caught up with me and became exhausting, because I didn't really understand the principle properly. But I've got these old spreadsheets where I used to track every single like rep, and I'd write down all the details about what I was doing, and then I'd have like a chart I could look at over time. And I don't do that anymore. It's like it doesn't feel very necessary for me to do that. But yeah, the way to do progressive overload is to do it at the correct pace. And the principle that I like to train under, which I listened to in a podcast with a Russian fella who talked about how, because the East and the West were like culturally separated during the Cold War, which is like quite a fascinating thing to think about, how different ideas can develop because of cultural boundaries. In Russia, they train differently, is the idea, and they have a different approach to these things. And what they do is they sort of have this like step-up approach where you do the whatever it is, the movement, the workout, the routine, with a particular weight until you've sort of mastered it, right? Like it's no longer challenging. You can do it in your sleep. So you stick with something for months, and then when you've really mastered it and your form is really good and you're very capable and it's not difficult, then you take a considerable step up to where it's challenging again, and then you stick with that challenge until it no longer is. And that's what I've been doing for the longest time now, is just training the same thing over and over again, week in, week out, making slight adjustments here and there, but nothing major. Occasionally, you know, shaking up the plan a little bit, but sort of staying at the same weight level and then taking like a step every now and then. Like a big step forward. Can I get a link to the tutorials, says Nutbrain? Yeah, I'll give you a link to this tutorial. You know, the one that we were just discussing. Don't know what to say to that. Big Phil, 8707, 4 months of support. Thank you so much, my dude. TX Writers here for 5 months, saying good morning, afternoon. Hope all is well. I'm trying to catch up with the streams on episode 50. I'll catch this VOD later. Well, thanks for popping in and leaving me the Prime subscription. What I will say is that the series speed is probably going to start to wind down a little bit now. Maybe 1 or 2 streams a week. I'm getting my vanilla inspiration back, so to speak, is sort of where I'm at right now. Right, now another thing I want to do with this farm is kind of give it a front, like a feeling like we're at the front of it, and that will include a window, and maybe I put conduit blocks over this. But what I do know I want to do is find a different material to go between this wall and this one over here, and I'm pretty sure I've got a full idea on how to execute this. However, I might need to rearrange some stuff here. Right, kind of done with those neutronium ones for now, so that wasn't much of an expenditure at all, was it? Hey X, you work out at home. What's your opinion on protein shakes? I'm trying to start working out. I want to know your thoughts, says Mr. Voldo. If you're starting to work out, some really important principles would be to not try and lift heavy, focus on good form, learn about form, which is always a tricky thing to say because there are people that talk about form on the internet and they don't know what they're talking about, you know, or it's not good advice. But there is good advice out there to be found. You really want to sort of be in control and get the right motions and movements together. When you're a beginner, like, it can be easy to like see all these different things like protein shakes and supplements, but really what you want to do, maybe I'll change up the design a little bit here then. For what I was originally going to do, we'll just extend it like this. Yeah, you really just want to, you know, focus on getting used to doing workouts, doing them, and doing them right with good form, and creating a habit, and not worrying too much about the other stuff straight away. The thing with protein shakes, if you make them with whey or casein, is that they're actually, like, they're supplements, right? Supplement means a sort of replacement when something else isn't available. But the type of protein they are is actually a really good source of protein. So I would say having a whey protein shake after you've worked out, you're really not going to go wrong with that. If you eat a lot of meat already in your diet, you probably don't need it. If you don't eat a lot of meat, then maybe it's a good idea. But like, one step at a time, you know, get into it, find out if it's for you, and then further down the line you can be like, you know what, I'm into this, I'm doing it, I want to start changing my diet, and then maybe it'll come useful to you. And yeah, I've sort of bounced around between using them a lot and not a lot, and just kind of depends on what I eat. Like, if I have a day where I don't eat any meat, the protein count's a bit low, then yeah, maybe I'll throw a shake in the mix, but they're not really essential, I think. Potato Person says, hi, how are you? I'm good, thanks for asking. Also, Blaine48, thank you for 6 months of support, my dude. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're entertained by the stream. We're going to have some chats today. I feel like I'm in a chatty mood, you know. Card Stands says, hey Xisuma, I just want to say I can't wait for the new HC season to start. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate that, man. I'm glad to hear you're excited. I'm getting excited too. I've been developing a couple of my ideas, and I feel like I feel like a lot of what I want to do actually kind of resists this sort of like planning ahead. I want to be a bit more spontaneous. And in the moment with what I do in this next season. I kind of want to play it from that angle. However, I am going to plan at least like this one build, right? I kind of don't want to do anything mega while simultaneously wanting to. Like, it's very easy for me to like get inspired to build some big structures and, oh, I'm going to do this and that. And I kind of don't. I kind of want to try and do something different. So I guess my phase right now is like planning, but I also want to play more spontaneously and not plan. So far creatively, the one idea that I've really been keen on is coming together pretty well, and it's a thing that will be like I guess a focal point, but it's not the whole story, right? And it will enable me to do other things spontaneously, I hope. So that's kind of where I'm at with my preparations so far. Mr. Voldo says, thanks X, very useful tips. Glad to hear it. And you know, I'd be happy to give more with time as well if you ever want to update me on how it's going. Res Martian says, I'm so happy I'm finally able to get to watch one of your streams live. I always seem to miss them. Keep up the awesome work, X. Thanks, Res. Glad to have you with us. Best way to find out about them from me is I post them on Twitter. Like, I announce when I go live. I don't always post videos to my main channel. I used to do that, but not so much anymore. And then following here on Twitch. But yeah, it's usually just if you happen to be around when it happens type thing, right? And I am not streaming with a schedule currently, but I tend to turn up this sort of time or a little bit later. Oh yeah, I also wanted to do this thing that I'm doing right here in this gap, and I think I'll just use the same material. Ah, and then it'll be slightly different up here. So that was this type of sheet metal, so we'll keep using that one. Winnie says, yes, schedules are very rare around here. They are. I did try it for a while, and I'm glad that I tried it, but in honesty, it ends up creating a pressure, like a time pressure, and I didn't really feel like there was a strong benefit. I mean, I didn't exactly measure it all with numbers and stuff, but I figured like maybe I would see you know, an uptick in viewership or something, but it tended to feel quite similar. So I ended up just I guess not bothering. I think I'm going to put the light source down the bottom as well. Now I'm trapped. Actually feels a little strong like that. I think I'll remove the bottom bit. And now we'll go over to the other side and recreate that again. What have we actually got going on here? One block there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 above the platform. So like platforms that level. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then below the platform, just the one. Sweets. Disco Mercenary, there will probably be a world download for this, although it will be a while, as I plan on playing in it for a long amount of time. Have you found a good routine after realizing your mistakes with progressive overload? Yes, as I was describing, the trick is to get something in place that you're, let's say, competent at, not massively challenging, but not easy either. And then stick with what you're going to do for a month. And then after a month, if you feel like you've mastered it all and it's all easy, then step up. But like if it's not, stick at it. And sometimes you might need to tweak that. Like, hey, maybe in order to make progress here, I need to focus on maybe like doing the movements a little slower, or doing more reps, etc., etc., and try and find where the strength building aspect is for you and your physiology. and then yeah, like just stick with it for a month basically, and then assess after. And only when you're like really comfortable with everything, then move it up. And if you've got like a routine with lots of movements, we're not talking about every movement all needs to be aced. Just, you know, when you're on top of one, move up to the next. Which is, it's what I've just done. Like, in January, I felt like a lot of stuff was kind of there and ready. Or should I say, like, the end of December. So, first couple of months of January, I increased the volume just to, like, do an extra set of everything, just to kind of get me warmed up. And then for quite a few things, I've just increased the amount I'm doing. And, yeah, it's worked out pretty well. So next month it's, well, actually I started the first day of my new routine, which actually changed up quite a few things. So we're going to introduce deadlifts and whatnot again. I've been really like cautious with everything, slowly progressing, building up my lower back strength with some different exercises, and now I feel like confident to take it on. I also used a mirror. I don't know why I never thought of this before, but I put a mirror down and I could see the shape of my back, and oh my god, it was like, what I'm doing feels like I'm doing it right, but I need to go way further, and like I have to really pull in my abdominal muscles, and then all of a sudden you can look in the mirror and see the back straightening up. And so I'm quite confident now that I'll be able to start deadlifting. And again, the principle is just doing it all light weights, and I'm going to stick with that for a month, right? I'm not going to up any of the weight, even if I'm feeling confident, and then assess at the end of the month. How's the form doing? You know, whatever. Curls says, a month? Wow, that's longer than I expected. I thought about a couple of weeks of the same routine with the same weights. Interesting. Yeah, well, let me put it into another perspective then. Like, I assess every month, but like, what I did up until December, I did for about 2 or 3 months for most of it. And that was actually really good because I had struggled with certain injuries over time, and I think one of the things that can sustain an injury is you know, like pushing that button essentially, right, by constantly increasing what you're trying to do. Whereas I sort of put the brakes on a bit, got really on top of what I was doing. Those old injuries were not giving me problems, and then when I step up, they don't come back. I don't know if I'm like really fully over them. I don't think I ever can be, because I sit at a computer and do this, right, and I get repetitive strain injury in my arms. But you know, I took that slow and cautious approach to sort of avoid any aggravation at all, anything that like remotely aggravates it. There's no like pushing through or anything. And you know, so I've built up the strength and capable to do it now. But here's the other thing, it's like, if you think about like, if you were to take how much you would increase the reps or the volumes over 2 weeks and then scale it over a year, you'd look at the end of that year and go, oh my god, that's an insane amount of weight. So like you have to, you know, it has to be at a steady pace. And one of the things that got into my head that I can't remember where particularly I heard it. I listened to so many podcasts, and you know, it all becomes a bit of a blur. But this just idea of thinking about what you're doing as if you're doing it for life, right? It's not a race. Like, I'm not trying to get to any particular like amount, like a weight. Oh, I want to be able to lift this much by the end of the year. It's not like that. It's all about, I want to be able to train for as long as possible. So like, I need to think like I'm going to be training for years, and so that means doing it slow and sensible and staying within your means. And yeah, I picked that stuff up slowly over the last couple of years because of my injuries that I picked up during the pandemic. And it's really starting to make more sense now. Like, it's about turning up every day and doing the thing, and it's not about trying to, like, get out ahead and lift tons of weight. It's about doing it consistently. Curls says that makes sense, and of course, better be cautious about it. It's easy for me to get too ambitious about things and not have the patience. Yeah, so like you got to try and change your thinking, like to remove ambition and to think in terms of sustenance and longevity. Like those are the concepts you want to get in your mind when it comes to working out. Because that'll get you on the path of realizing, look, I'm lifting the same amount I did last week and the week before it and the week before that, but each time I'm getting a little bit stronger and a little bit better. And the day will come when you're ready to step it up again, but then it will be the right day, and you'll be fully prepared. Hey, this is looking real nice. If I could do a redesign though, I would say this thing needs to be further back. And I kind of feel like there's not really a lot of room to like jiggle it forward. Although I could maybe give that a shot. Let's have a go at just changing this up a tiny bit. Not much. Just trying to open up that space a little bit. Do you know, I kind of don't like that immediately, even though I haven't put blocks on the other side. But I was thinking it could go like that. Uh-oh. I had a couple of sessions of lifting with basic weights, but something strange I noticed. I kinda enjoy the pain and soreness after each session, which is really odd, and I just don't feel like dropping it much soon, says Mr. Volod. Ah, you got the bug. You got the bug. You see, a lot of people react to that soreness in a negative way. If you just naturally like enjoy it, then it might be for you. I enjoy it too, because it's not soreness after working out, as long as we're talking about actual soreness and not an injury. It's not an injury. It's your body like recovering and repairing, and I always like that feeling. And I don't, but with the training that I do now, I rarely get sore. However, I gave myself a week of doing the more classic hypertrophy training, which is another thing about that principle, by the way, is I also do this this method of, like, let's say you got 6 or 7 movements in your routine for your body part, should we say, like you tend to group them by body part. What I do is I do one set of each and then walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes, and then do one set of each and walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes. This drains the body of your lactate, the lactate that gets into the muscle, and is supposed to be healthier for long-term health. It's supposed to be smarter to not bring on that soreness that you get from doing, like, let's say 5 or 6 sets of 10 reps on something, you know, back to back, which is the classic hypertrophy training. And it's supposed to be healthier to not do it that way. And I just decided to go with that, because I'm a little more into now, like, longevity as opposed to just like building muscle for the sake of it. And yeah, I gave myself like just a one-off. This week I'm going to do classic hypertrophy training, back-to-back sets, even some drop sets in there and stuff. And like my upper back, shoulders have been so sore the last few days. It's like I haven't felt that in a long time, and I kind of like it, but you know. Lucro says, to be fair, it is an injury, or rather thousands of small ones. Yeah, but like, what you got to realize is that the body is adaptive. Like, it's part of what testosterone and growth hormone is. It's about adapting to environment. So like, giving it a little bit of a historical, or let's say evolutionary perspective, to survive, you need to adapt to the environment you're in. So when the challenges of the environment become greater, the body has to respond to it by building muscle. So it's like a process. Getting hurt and the body, like getting a broken arm or tearing a muscle, or getting something getting cut on your skin, that's a different type of thing, right? That's like your body repairs it. It doesn't grow back stronger. Like you don't get. I mean, maybe this could be completely wrong, right? Like if you got a cut on your arm and then it had to be repaired, does the skin grow back stronger? I would assume it doesn't. I could be entirely wrong. It doesn't feel like that would be the case. Ivan365, thank you so much for the Prime. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream and the discussion today. Res Martian says, I will say when I work out, I love the soreness, but I didn't have the mental strength at the time to keep up with working out. Yeah, it does take discipline to just keep going. I always take minimum weights at last for loosening. By doing this, I don't feel any body ache, but if I don't, then I'm screwed for the rest of the day. All right, I've not heard of that before. I mean, if you find something that works for you, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. For me, like, it was just I enjoyed the soreness, and it was like a sign of progress or whatever. So I never really cared much for trying to avoid it. And then I also, once I sort of got used to being sore, it was kind of like you didn't really actually get that sore after a while, So I never really struggled with much soreness. But after changing the type of what I'm doing, where I'm like letting all the lactate drain from the muscle by getting on the treadmill for 5 minutes, which I've been doing for a long time, that really does change the way you're doing the whole thing. And so, I quite like this big open look we got at the moment. I think I'm going to keep rolling with that. Yeah, got what I was saying then. A happiness researcher called this muscle growth after a workout and the human body in general an anti-fragile system. When stress is put on the system, it bounces back and gets stronger. Use an example that is how we can get mentally stronger from stressful situations as well. I found that fascinating. Yeah, quite commonly do people or psychologists or whatever comment on how people who have been through horrible situations like in war, who have witnessed awful things take place, that they often describe like feeling better for it after, like they've become a better person after going through these like hard and horrible things. Like I think it was the last time I heard it, it was the Polish people after World War II. A lot of them, had seen horrendous stuff with Germany invading and then the Soviet Union coming through after, yet they reported feeling like better people for it after going through these hard times. So like both a mental and physical reaction to going through something difficult and tough is to like grow back better, right? And so training, like, I guess working out gives you that. If you choose to do it, you're choosing to put yourself through something tough, and then if you're into it like I am and some of y'all are, like you'll see the benefit, you'll understand the why, and that'll probably motivate you to keep doing it. Like after a heavy leg day, your leg hurts as hell with any movement, but God does it feel good, says Mr. Voldo. I absolutely loved leg day, doing the leg press, doing the leg extensions, anything leg. I don't know why, it's like some of my favorite, and because I injured my upper body, and like this is, mistakes I shouldn't have made that I should know better about, but I mean, you make mistakes in life, right? You got to learn from them. And I kind of just, in a stupid whim of an idea, I'm like, right, well, I'm just going to double my leg volume and do that while I wait for my arms to recover. And it was like the first day of doing double volume. After I finished my workout, I walked up the stairs and my knees felt awful. And I was like, uh-oh. That ain't good. But yeah, I was doing like 100 kilograms on the leg press and absolutely loving it. It just like completely blasts your legs. But then I did double what I'd normally do, and yeah, it totally busted my knees, and I'm still recovering to this day, and every now and then I waffle about it. Latest thing at the moment is that I've been doing some regular cycling again, and I've not had trouble with my knees at all. In fact, they're really starting to feel like they're getting stronger, and I'm just going to be patient about it. I'm just going to keep cycling. I'm not going to overdo it, and then at some point I'll introduce something else. I was going to try doing a little bit of leg press, but you know, maybe I won't, or maybe I'll be patient. Yeah, like I've waited a long time to get to this point, and so I'm not going to rush getting back into all the things I used to do. It's about like getting there slowly and steadily, and just making sure that you're getting stronger and not injuring yourself, I guess. Right, we need factory blocks. I think I'm going to leave all these conduits exposed, except the ones behind the ender chests. I think I'm going to paint those. We'll take some of these and chisel them. I hate painful knees. I destroyed them while fencing, and they're hurting for a few years now. This is random guy. I'm sorry to hear that, my dude. The thing that's been helping me, if you want to try it, obviously I know nothing about your situation, so you know you better than I do, but what's helped for me is quad stretches, because I saw a knee doctor specialist, and they couldn't really like do too much for me, because I'm like, you know, I'm young and healthy, and I don't have like a chronic issue. I've just had an injury that's difficult and persistent, but they subscribed cycling, which at the time wasn't working for me, but also quad stretching. So I immediately went to my my workout routine programming, and just everything has quad stretches built in. So I am like quad stretching multiple times a day for like 10 to 15 seconds on each leg, and that really felt like it was alleviating some issues. And then, you know, months go by, I get back out on the bike, and I'm like, you know what, I haven't felt anything after that cycle, so I'll do another one. And now, you know, now I've steadily built it up to like 3 or 4 times a week. And so if I keep that going and I don't have trouble, it's a good sign, I think. But yeah, the knee doctor said that cycling is like one of the top things that they recommend. Get out on the bike, and it, you know, if you think about it, it gets your knees moving, but it doesn't go like full range of motion on them. So that would be my guesstimation for like why. Oh wait, I haven't painted them. Why they might be so effective. Okay, let's chuck this out here. Oh, Sakuru91, thank you for 6 months. Half a year already, wowza. Hope you're doing well, X and chat. Thank you, my dude. Appreciate it. Yeah, half a year. It flies by, doesn't it? Hope you're enjoying everything we're up to. Ivan says, what are you working on? Oh, just the room for the farm today. It's actually, it's turned out really great. I was going to put some glass across the front of this. I think I could still, actually. I could put the neutronium blocks, but then... Actually, I think I might just leave it open. Oh, I need to do that, yeah. So now, all of these, you'll notice they're separated so that they don't overlap. They go into each ender chest. There's now no gap. And that is, you know, the last of it, I think. Put those blocks there. And it's all sealed up. I think I shall leave it like that, because I want to get onto some technical stuff today, you know. So we'll go chuck everything back into here, as we're no longer using these things. That being said, I would like more of that. And just attach some of these here and there, as always. Probably going to need that again now, just to Make life a little bit easier. I used to cycle everywhere back in my teen years. Nowadays, I get this weird pain in my thigh muscle. Way too quick that I always make month-long breaks between cycling activities. Yeah, Rafi, stretching would be my go-to for having like odd pains. Again, you know your body better than me, but I don't know if you have a stretching routine or you got like a stretch that can hit that spot. When I was like running a long time ago and I hurt myself and had issues, eventually I found like stretches in yoga that really like hit the spot and like alleviated the pains and tensions that I was feeling. And it wasn't like a cure-all, but like an active stretching practice on your muscles can often be like really beneficial. Depends on the type of injury though. You can also go like to a physiotherapist and see if they can you know, give you a muscle massage, or maybe you got like a knot that needs working out. These are just some of the things that may or may not help. Stretching prevents injury, says like Remil. Yeah, stretching is basically, you know, you warming up your muscles, right? If you think about it, if you go like, if you weightlift or you run or you do any kind of activity that involves muscle, you're gonna put it under strain because it's what the muscle does, right? It counteracts force. And then, you know, stretching will just limber it up. It'll get it loose. It'll get the blood flowing. It'll be a gentle way to warm it up to some of those extremes it might be exposed to. Rafi says, actually, that's a great idea. Got to try that next time. Yeah, with the stretching, like, don't think of it as I do this before I cycle. Just do some stretches, like, you know, do some research. Put in the area of the body, try and find some things that you can try. But don't think of it as like something that you use before or after. Like, think of it as something you do consistently, like day in, day out. That will be the best way to, you know, get results from that. There's really no harm in stretching, and it's kind of difficult to do it wrong. Because if you go too far of a stretch, which, you know, some stretches are like almost physically impossible to go too far, you'll feel it, you'll know as you get there. Right, so now that we've done all of that, okay, I mean, this project is an absolute rabbit hole. We can get rid of all of these over here. We did actually want to build a cha-cha wood farm, didn't we? And I kind of had this idea of cheesing it a little bit by putting one of these clocks in the room where we farm all of the woods already. Which I might just do, I don't know. I'm not aware of any other ways that farming this could be particularly fun. I don't think we need the lapis block. I don't know that that got over there, or that. What we need to do is now figure out what's the next step. Probably not that. In fact, oh, that's it. Infinity ingot. This should really be bookmarked. Or actually, it's the catalyst, isn't it? So the catalyst is already over here. So we've kind of, you know, ticked off that. We've got these things, I'm pretty sure. Steel, dark steel, and Inderium. Block of steel. Let's try the dark steel. Plenty of that. Inderium. Lots of Inderium. Not a crazy amount. Anyway. So that means we just got the top row, and the first 5 things are done. The Endist Pearl, we've got everything we need for that. Which leaves us with 3 things: stew, meatballs, and record fragment. This one could be potentially quite easy. Yeah, look at that. So really all we need to do is go add a recipe in the system for that one. Oh. I see some of you in chat talking about muscle pains, going to the masseuse, forget how to say that properly. Yeah, like if you're getting like aches and pains in your body and whatnot, like a daily yoga practice I think is amazing. I absolutely love doing yoga every day in the morning. It feels just like the right thing to be doing. Totally like wakes up your body, gets you loose. But also just knowing that like if you sit hunched over at a computer, if your posture's not right, you're going to be tensing up muscles. There's like a vocabulary of your body. You learn these stretches, you learn how they alleviate different parts of your body, and then you know, over time you sort of like identify you know, where they are and how to relieve them. Like the one thing I do is like shoulder shrugs, right? Just shrugging my shoulders up to like your shoulders are going to your ears. You push that in, and then you let it go, and it always just seems to like relieve something. And that's probably the one I do the most. I'm always carrying something in my shoulders, and I just consistently like relieve it through that. Okay, so this one's going to be rather interesting, as will this one too. So lots of raw things. Hey, this is our excuse to build our passive mob farm at last. That being said, kind of looks like we've already got these things, probably from loot bags, which actually makes me disappointed. Do we have raw rabbit in there? We don't have raw rabbit, which is potentially the harder of all of them. But the pork chop, the beef, and the fish are all in there. So for this, we actually need one item, which is raw rabbit. And rabbit essence, I might go that route. I think building a rabbit farm will be very similar to creating a mob cage, shuffling them into some contraption that kills them. Oh, fruit bait makes raw rabbit. So yeah, we need rabbit essence then, I think. Let's go add that one to the list for the cosmic meatballs. Then for this thing, carrots and wheats. I've got no idea what the situation with any of that is. Lots of carrot. Potentially wheat. Yep, we've got lots of wheat. Click on the right thing. Fire and water essence, so we literally have to add those to our farm. Potatoes and then dragon fruit. Got those. Dragon fruit. No dragon fruit. So we'll attach that. Then it's beetroot and garlic. That sounds like a horrible combination. I like beetroot. Oh, I didn't put beetroot in my salad. Huh. I made salads today. And I felt like something was different about it. But I didn't linger on that thought for long enough to be like, oh, there's no beetroot in it. I always go for beetroot. So garlic goes on the list, as does beetroot. Oh, we can do it that way, can we? Nature essence. Let's get some of that in there. So this one needs, like, that doesn't look very fun. I mean, maybe it does. It's a project we haven't done. So let's see if any others are like that. Soybean is also like that. So it looks like we're going to have to create a bunch of machines to make the rich folk grow, and then do these other bits as well. Eggplant. Put that up there. Broccoli. I'm seeing a pattern now. Carrot soup. That's probably just going to be a recipe of some sort. Anyway, we'll get these all on our list, and we're just going to like make our way through them. Meatloaf RIP. Make our way through them one by one. Pumpkin might be really quite easy because we've probably got a bunch of pumpkins. Oh, we actually haven't, so we've got seeds for that. Now, the pumpkin itself, I have a hunch. Yeah, nature essence again. So nature essence is going to be super useful for getting through all of this. And you know what? It's not actually, let's get end essence on the list. It's not actually looking too tricky. However, farming chorus fruit might be quite curious. Off the top of my head though, I tell you what, I might want to do this a vanilla way, because we can create a farm that farms the chorus fruits and then can put them down in an area. That might make for a really fun project, so I'm going to take end essence off the table, and actually we might go a different direction with that one. beetroot soup. Obviously, oh, it's made from beet soup. That's the Minecraft item, but it doesn't have the Minecraft recipe. How curious. I wonder if we ever got any of that through the system. No. Mon, PJC, thank you for tier 3 for 27 months. Goodness me. What? No beetroot? Hope you have a great evening. Are you considering your own mod pack? I'm working on a little mod pack related project. I wouldn't call it my own though. At least it won't be an Xisuma mod pack, right? I'm working on something, but it's not a thing that I want to get out and do tomorrow. It's just something like of a curiosity, I guess. This is actually, beef jerky is just a recipe. So I think I'll go ahead and put that one in right now. And I've come to the wrong place. Because we have lots of salt in our system. That being said, do we? Okay, I need to replace that with that. Salt. It's not actually hooked up to our system, so we need to go do that. We need to hook up salt. That's a job. Okay. Let's go back into the cauldron. So to remind myself, I will add salt to the list. And yeah, we got to just pluck away at all these things. And now we come to the end. Rainbow beacon, rabbit stew, epic beacon, words! They're difficult. Leave me alone. Rabbit stew is something we might also have in here, but unlikely. Nope. Okay, so I think we'll go take care of salt straight away, and then move on to other things. Glad I could catch the stream. Got to go now. Good luck with the StreamX and hope to catch another soon. Res Martian, thanks for tuning in today. Glad to have you with us. Right, salt is stored over here, isn't it? Yeah. 1.18 million. Goodness me. Now, there is a controller for all of this. I think what I'll do is just, well, yeah. This is its own little network. But I could very easily attach it to this. And I don't know why I decided that it should stay separate. So I think what I can do... Also, what is that? That is quadrupling ore, so it's a part of all that. I think what I can do here is go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5, 6, 7. 7, you say? And it should update and then become a part of the system. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to standing, and I'm going to nip to the loo, which y'all seem to love me saying. Okay. Oh, there it is. Look, I've got a thing for this, okay? I've got a thing for it. I will be right back, but I'm still here. I'm still here. Don't even say derp. Don't even say derp. That is intentional. Intentional. So yeah, you can have a read of what's below the stream if you want to find out about the perks of following me and all that stuff. Anyway, whatever it says on the screen, I will now actually be right back. Bear in chat says, unrelated, but that's a very nice font. That's completely related. It's literally on the screen. It's part of the stream. I'm messing with you. Yeah, it's a really nice font. I managed to pick out like a couple of fonts that I really liked some time ago. And yeah, I guess they've sort of been a part of my profile or whatever way you want to phrase it for some time. Although that one was more used around the LPMT community, that font. But I really do like it. So, cross salt off the list. Okay, what's going on? Salt goes off the list. Now we're going to do... I think we'll start off with just something easy and get the essence stuff out of the way. That's what we'll do. Wait. Wait, what? Hang on a minute. Rabbit seeds makes... Yeah, this is where we need to go. So I need the rabbit chunk. Right, do I have those chunks made? I've got to jog my memory. I think I might need a solium dagger used to obtain mob chunks. So if I want to make a tier 3... here we go. So let's say I want to make that. Oh yeah, it uses the zombie chunks. Right, so what we need is raw rabbit. And it can do the rest. Now, how do we get our hands on some raw rabbit, you might be wondering. I mean, maybe I could just use a ground trap and fruit bait. Apparently I have bright berries. Well, I got 2 of those. I got all sorts. Okay, so I don't know where I got that from. And I got 4... Okay, I got 4 bait from that. I was thinking of a different mod, even. For this. I really don't know how this ground trap thing works. I think you leave it alone and then wait for something to happen. And what's that thing called that we got? And what mod is it from? Oh gosh, Project E or something? Yeah. I got a feeling that this might be a chance-based thing. Because what I was thinking is that we use some like squid bait, right? There might be like rabbit bait. Fish trap, veggie, grain bait, fruit bait, parrot bait, llama, polar bear, donkey, horse, rabbit bait. So yeah, that's actually what we should be making. And then we kill the rabbits when they spawn. How delightful of me. There's no water in this area. Dang it. Where's the water at, homie? I'm going to just break that. I don't think that's worth pursuing. So maybe it'll work over here. Place more blocks from the animal's home biome here. Ha! Sand? They do spawn in multiple biomes. I mean, that's not very helpful if that's it. Maybe it does a bit of a check. Probably grass then. Which we have, of course. So let's give that one a try. I mean, I don't know how much to try here, right? It could be a lot, it could be a little. Don't think we're using that down there anymore. Hey, there we go. Now it wants me to move out of the way, but like, not only might I do that, I might also put that time speedy uppy thing there. Now this doesn't have looting on it, does it? But I don't really care. This is going to be possibly relatively simple. I'm going to put the time speedy up thing in the area. Hey! Hey! They got top hats on! What are the odds? They both got top... Oh my god, they're so cute. Do they have to grow up? Oh, they're so cute! Look at you with your little suit on. Oh. You're going to kill me with your cuteness. I'll see how it goes. Let's get some more of this rabbit bait stuff. Don't need... well, I do need the mineral wood. I'm to tidy up after myself. So, how do we speed up their growth? Seeds or wheat? I think it's... seeds for rabbits? Where are y'all trying to hide? No, carrots probably. They like carrots, right? Oh, you love the carrot. Oh. Oh, look at your little pipe. Oh. Oh, they're little British rabbits. Oh, look at how British they are. They got smoking... Oh, what a little family. What a little family. I've just realised this one here is bigger than the others, isn't it? Oh. Why are they so cute? Oh look, it shows us the growing cooldown up top. Well, here's the thing. I am not in a rush with these... Sorry, I'm not going to run out of these carrots anytime soon, is what I'm thinking. Whoa! Oh yeah, I see what happened. I see what happened. Now that I ain't got the carrots, you know, it's not all cool, is it? Oh wait, where'd the dude go? Dude! No! You're escaping through the inners of my base. Very careful now. Woo! Right. Oh. Oh. Gotcha. Right. That's one piece. We need more than that. Right, you're a fully grown rabbit now. No! Oh, you're making me break my base! What are you doing to me, man? Got ya. Oh yeah, I need an empty hand for that. Oh, there is some comedy gold right now, isn't there? Comedy gold, y'all are saying. Gotcha, gotcha. You will not mock me any further. 2 pieces. How many do we need for making the chunk thing, right? So... You want the essence from the seed. Oh, here's the other thing. I'm going to have to get into a feedback loop. Like where we start off with 1 seed, right? So I need 4 of them, so I need 8 of these. Yeah, okay. My work is not done. My work is not done here. I need more of that rabbit bait. Oh, okay. Come here, you. Come here, young one. Oh, with your googly eyes. Oh, you're a fully grown one, are you? Get wrecked. Dang it. I think I should just leave this in my offhand. That'll make my life easy, right? Will it make my life easy, rabbit? Gotcha. That's number 3 of 8. Dark Commands 99. Thank you for 34 months. Greatly appreciated. I hope you're enjoying the stream today. Having a good time as we kill wabbits. Oh no. Need to keep that as grass probably. Yeah. Let's keep putting down the bait. And then they'll pop into existence before long. Don't kill the child, says Rose Red Gamer. I won't. I'll wait until it's grown into an adult. Because I'm humane. I only kill adults. I wonder if they don't grow up faster because of... No, you're still growing up. was kind of wondering if it would grow up faster because it's in the little clock area. Right, put these things down. How could anyone have a good time watching as someone mercilessly massacres rabbits, says Noogly. Define massacre with numbers. Oh man, why are the rabbits with top hats and pipes? It's just so adorable. I like how the bait looks like it has pepper on it. They like their food seasoned. Right, you're an adult rabbit. So are you. And now we're up to 5 of 8. Come on, my wabbits. 2 seconds. Boom! You're an adult. That's what you get for growing up, kids. That's what you get for growing up. Yeah, another bait. 7 now. God, we're going to have this soon, aren't we? Is that working? There we go. Nice. You look young. 3 seconds. 2. 1. Welcome to adulthood. Oh, it's all over. Oh, look at that googly eye. Oh, God, they're so good. Right, we have 8, so we can go craft things that we need. Right, I'm gonna leave them out here. They can hang out here forevermore. They will be the rabbits in the back area, pulling all the levers. Whew, emergency mute for a sneeze there. Go. Right, so Rabbit Chunk is now the name of the game. That's actually like a recipe that I need to make, I guess. And we'll make it over here. Sweet. In you go, rabbit seeds. Okay, maybe I should type rabbit. Yep, just the one, that's all we can afford. No? Oh wait, I made rabbit seeds and not rabbit chunks. Right. Right. I need those too. So, try again. Wait. Try again here. Rabbit hide? I don't remember that being part of it. I really don't. Maybe what it did... Maybe the recipe is, like, interchangeable. So... Wow, this is where it gets annoying. Rabbit. Gotta go grab that out again. Oh, wait, no. It had it the whole time. I was just ignoring that, wasn't I? I was just ignoring it. So how much rabbit hide did we get? I think none, right? And we just killed a bunch of rabbits. Let's get back in there. Yeah. So I sort of skimmed over that. That's also made in the ground trap. Wonder if this thing is like infinite. You get those for power over and over again. Huh. I'll tell you what, if I... Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? There's a quicker way. There really is. If I go in here and type in mob imprisonment tool. Okay, that's an empty mob imprisonment tool. Let's go find a rabbit. Let's get a carrot as well. So what I haven't done is I haven't made a sort of like universal mob farm that I can just swap over. But I do have a behind the scenes little setup somewhere for a different mob that we could probably exchange. You are going to become part of a project. Mr. White Coco says, I was just about to mention that. Yeah, if you had mentioned it 20 minutes ago, that would have been amazing. This, I can't remember, I think this once was hooked up to a farm, but isn't anymore. I think we ended up doing the squid thing a different way. Oh, look at that. Oh, and it might just put the stuff straight in there, I'm not sure. Oh, and now we need XP. Uh-huh. In fact, just a little bit and it'll start making loads of it. So, my dislocator might pick it up. You know what, when you click on this, you don't see the mob here. I guess that's the same with the rabbit hide. So how long do we stand here and massacre rabbits for? That's the new question, isn't it? We've got rabbit's feet, but not rabbit hide. Was that rabbit just wearing a tuxedo, says Christina? Yep. I'm wondering, do I need a loot sword to get this? Now, if I'm not picking up the items... Oh, there you go, it is. It's getting it, but we're not seeing rabbit hide yet. Right, chat. Some of y'all are experts at this. What am I missing? I think either we need a looting sword. Maybe he needs to be killed by the player and the odds are really slim, right? So there is another thing. A diamond spike. Which I have not built. Now this, yeah, can't build it off the bat. Need to go do it with the recipe. Player kill, yeah. I wonder if we can upgrade that machine as well, make it go a little faster. So this is the one thing that annoys me about the setup that we have here, is that you always have to head over to a terminal and set up a recipe. It's why I like the other method, where when you automate something, you also store a stash of it. But we can't do things that way today. Anyway, there shouldn't be any dependencies that we haven't already got, so we'll drop it in. Then we'll request it. And then we'll take it out. Who would have thought we'd do that? Who would have thought? Who would have knew? Who would have thought Slim Shady would have been something you would have brought? Okay. Let's get rid of that iron. Oh, no! No, no! Don't be doing this to me now. Oh, ah! Oh, rabbit. I'm so sorry. Okay, in terms of upgrades, so if we go with the word upgrade, yeah, these are the ones, right? Aren't they? Speed 1, energy, speed 2. So I go into here and just shim-sham those in. Wow, the massacre is upgraded. And no rabbit hides, which concerns me greatly. Now, some of you are saying player kill. Effectively, the diamond block simulates the player kill, right? We're getting rabbit's feet, but not rabbit hide. Rabbit stew doesn't use the rabbit hide. Well, eventually that thing will run out of juice. It's on its way to running out of juice now anyway. Chat, I need your help. Looting. Well, if we're not getting it without looting, we won't get it with looting, essentially. Maybe it's removed from the mod pack. It might, yeah, it might be... Okay, that's a good point, because if I... What else can I do? Like, I don't think there are different loot tables for the different types of rabbit. You get no hides because this farming method is heinous enough already. That's not helpful. Does it spawn all adults? Yeah, we can literally see the drops coming in, right? So, like, it's killing rabbits. I either go down, like, a really long rabbit hole, you know, pun intended, of farming different rabbits, right? Or I do that, which is a legit way to do it, but that will probably take some time. Can anyone shed some light on how this works? I think I might just spawn the thing in to get the one going. Because this is probably just going to take like a long time. Oh yeah, I left my my little time thing over here. Sorry. And it's probably not affected by that, but... Oh, there's another one, is there? Sorry. Too many entities in the world, that's the problem. I think I'm just going to spawn it in at this rate. Put the trap level with the grass. Let's give that a try then. Hey, one disappeared, right? One just literally disappeared when I put it in. And again. Does that mean it works or not? Ooh, okay. So, fruit bait is actually a legit thing here. And we can use apples on it. Well, then that just means we can put loads in until we get exactly what we need. Dang. Right, and then I have multiple ground traps, right? So... easy peasy now. I like that we found the legit way to do it, at least. So it's not all cheesed. What we got here, raw duck. I could turn this into an actual farm, right? Like, funny enough. What else comes from that? So we got a lot of stuff on our list. Do any of them come from that trap? Some of these things might do. I think it might be worth just setting it up for the fun of it somewhere. Just have a little room. I don't know where I'd put something like this. I've noticed now how they're all stuck at 60. I think actually what I've done... Okay, let's get some more grass. I think what I've done here is probably stop them because they need to be surrounded, right? See, now they're going. So we could set up like a little field somewhere. Ooh, down there. Put a bunch of grass, find a way to automate it, you know. Something below to collect. That kind of thing. What about the ground trap itself? Ah, it's got a dependency. I'm noticing how the items don't stack in here either. Also, aren't we trying to farm raw rabbit through this other method? We're literally trying to get raw rabbit from rabbit essence, but the ground trap gives us it. So actually, this is the farm that I want to build and not bother with the other one. And then we got rabbit hides, but we're no longer going to do that, right? So I think I'm just going to build this as a farm somewhere, yeah. Okay. Where do we put it, peeps? Where do we go and put a farm like that? I kind of don't have much of an inspiration or an idea. In terms of these corridors and stuff, they're all kind of tapped out for space. We could maybe put an elevator block here, somewhere in this area, and it takes you up. Because I did want to expand this at some point. Maybe have an upwards area for that. Meccano! Or Meccanicho. Thank you for 2 months of support, my dude. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream. You can make another corridor for even more farms, says Shinny. Well, there isn't really space for a corridor. What I could do is put like something below. I could go down. There isn't much of like an open space to extend from at the moment. We kind of used up all that space, right? Unless I did some major reworking, which I don't feel like doing. I could maybe just put it like over here and just... Oh wait, that's too wide. That's going to be terrible for elevator blocks. Let's go ahead and make that. What do we have? What do we have in the ways of elevator over here? Yeah, so I think what I might need to do is add like recipes for walls. I think I'm going to do this manually. Let's get like 100. Right, did that make them? It did. Then we type in die. So I'm going to want... Oh, I see the problem. Wrong type of terminal. Oh, I made a whole... Well, whatever. I made more than I meant to there. So now when we type in elevator, we'll be able to make these. Okay, so I want one of those. And 2 of the green ones. Whoopsie, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so there we got 2 of each. Put these things in. Right, so to build this thing, we're obviously going to need like a bunch of cables and stuff. Let's see. So what we got up here? 32, 10, 0, 0. So let's say we go with probably just light blue. Just extend that one for now. Grab this stuff, then we've got to figure out like where that cable goes. I know it goes down to here. Then that's kind of it. It must go underground and get used somewhere else. Okay, so we can kind of see where it's going in that direction. We're going to have to turn a corner. Turn a corner somewhere around here. And basically get it to go down over here. And go underground. Right. Probably going to need to put a couple of torches over here. Right, we should have a waffle while I do this, because I kind of know what I'm doing now for a while. There is something I wanted to talk about that's kind of political. And I wanted to see if any of you had some opinions on it. Has anyone been following this whole trucker thing? Trucking for Freedom. What do they call it? The convoy? Has anyone been hearing about that news story at all? I'm interested to see what all of you think about it. The convoy is B-dub streaming again? No. In Canada, that's the one. Yeah, in Canada. I think they're going into America as well, though, right? Although, to be fair, like, because I'm an ignoramus, like a lot of... I get confused with some Canadian and American places. Is it in the UK? No. When he says yes, and I think it's great. The truckers with the Confederate and Nazi flags on their trucks, says Dorva Llama. I feel like immediately I've got exactly what I was looking for, right? So we live in a very polarized time, and now I feel like more than ever I feel like I'm an air quotes centrist or whatever, but really it's like it seems like increasingly the problem is the reporting, or like the narrative just seems to emerge when a story happens. It gets narrativized almost immediately. Anna the snowboarder says, I hear about it almost every time I watch the news. In what context do they talk about it, right? As I understand it, some Canadians have adopted the same views of Americans budding fascists. So right, like, okay, 2 people are referred to fascism because of truckers driving across the border. I don't actually know where they're driving to or from, but like, you know, they're doing this convoy, and they're doing it to protest against mandates, and in the name of people having autonomy and freedom over their own bodies and whatnot, is the idea. No, they don't have any Confederate flags in Canada. That is misinformation. It's misinformation that sort of sounds like it when you think about it. Like, why would they be flying Confederate flags? That's an American thing. Vaccine mandates are also marching with Nazis here in Austria and compare themselves to the Jews during the Third Reich. They keep destroying property and police cars. I don't know much about that. But I will tell you what I do know about. By being pushed into a more centrist way of looking at things, at being sort of disenfranchised by my own, you know, coming from more of a left-leaning background, sort of becoming disenfranchised and disconnected from how I saw things reported on that side, and just like once you disconnect from one of the sides, you just see how events happen, and immediately it's like things are narrativized. So the moment I start hearing about this stuff, I'm immediately rather skeptical, because depending on which places I go to, and I have several places I can go to get like different sorts of opinions, the story's different in each place. It's like kind of bizarre. And what I see is a lot of like flip-flopping from the different ideologies, where because everyone online seems to want to score, like, you know, the slam dunk on the other side, everyone's rallying out these so-called logical statements of this thing and the other, and there's so much happening in the world all the time that you can kind of take the political event and then just apply it to something similar that's happened, and then you see a sort of hypocrisy, because everyone, I heard this thing a while ago that just seems so prevalent now, both for myself and what I see going on in the world, is that like everyone wants to sound logical and reasonable, and like we're actually making good use of logic and reason, but it tends to be that you have your emotional reaction to something based on your bias or your political leaning, and then logic and reason come after the fact. They become the tools you use to support your view. It should, in a ways, be the other way around. Logic and reasoning should come first before you have a viewpoint. I don't know how to achieve that myself, but I try not to have strong views on anything because of like realizing that's so apparent. So this trucker thing that I've heard about, I've seen the statements the organisation themselves have put out, and everything they're saying to me is entirely reasonable, that they're peaceful, and that you know, the things that they stand for, the way they're doing it, it all sounds decent to me. I haven't done a deep dive. I don't know if there's more to it than that, but I think, you know, if there's an organisation and a movement, you gotta at some point take what they say at face value to some extent. And then what happens is how it's being reported falls into left and right. So when I go into left-leaning places like Reddit, the way it's being talked about feels utterly alien from what's being described, right? And I'm hearing these stories of like property damage and like violence taking place in the name of these truckers, and it's just so different from if you go to a different place to learn about it. When he says, yes, it's just normal hard-working people standing up for freedom. That's at the end of the day my takeaway is it feels more like that. But like many things, they become politicized, and then they become left and right, and then where the truth is and isn't and whatnot, I just don't know. But here's the big takeaway for me. To point out the hypocrisy, and not to try and paint hypocrisy like it's some golden bullet, but just like, you know, we're all fallible. It's okay. Like, but we gotta realize that we've got to take responsibility for our own mistakes. And the hypocrisy is everywhere. Like, some time ago, I got exposed to one of those ideas in George Orwell's 1984 book called doublethink, the ability to hold opposing views at the same time, views that contradict one another. And I took that and I thought that's really interesting, that, and I sort of took it seriously. And then occasionally I would spot myself having like strong views on something, and then actually, wait a minute, I also believe this other thing as well, and they do kind of contradict each other. Like, you got to look for it in yourself, and then maybe you'll see it in the world as well, these contradictions. So what I'm talking about is how protest is conveyed in the media, and how it is always seemingly skewed to the political point. So we have seen like a fair few protest movements over recent years, and the reaction from either side on the political aisle is to argue all the points against it, to point out that in protests that you have violence, you have rioting, you have looting, and it's always about aligning it with your own political agenda. It doesn't seem to be like a value, like you're standing on a value. You're just using whatever logic and reasoning happens to line up with the current events. So if you are like on the left side, let's say, which it seems to be currently would mean that you're looking at this movement unfavorably. It's been painted as being the bad thing if you're on the left. In those communities, we're seeing reports and talk of violence, and a couple of people pointed out Nazism and Confederate flags and all of this stuff. There's that on the left, and then if you were to take something like the Black Lives Movement from last year, which was a pro-left movement, there was violence, there was rioting and destruction of property, and yet the political stance was to downplay those things and to upplay the point. And I'm not trying to comment on the movements themselves being wrong or right, but it's how the narrative gets flipped. The same thing happened with the January the 6th insurrection. That, for a lot of people that went there on that day, they didn't actually participate in the horrible scenes that we saw when people went into the government building. That's a smaller group, and obviously the amount that is small changes. Sometimes it's a little bit larger, but because these things are politicized, it's hard to talk in actual numbers. But the point being that in both the Black Lives Matter movement and on January the 6th, there was destruction of property and there was rioting or the equivalent of. But there were also people there who were doing things peacefully and being of, goodwill or good intent. And it's almost like, everyone will come out with the arguments to defend their side rather than looking at it and seeing that it pretty much every time you have a movement and a protest and people gathering, there's always a small crowd that cause trouble. I imagine with the truckers there will be a small crowd that cause trouble, and the leaders of the trucker movement have, sort of very clearly stated that they're well and truly against that and are not encouraging it. Yet that seems to be the focus. You're against that movement, and then you focus on all of that and make it out like that's the whole thing. And the same thing was flipped with the Black Lives Matter movement, from left to right. That people on the right would talk about all the violence and the rioting and not the issue itself, and then on the left it would be talking about the issue itself and downplaying the violence. Like, I think when people come out and protest, they have a genuine reason, and most of the time those genuine reasons need to be listened to. And yes, there's always going to be people who turn up and cause trouble, but the way things are discussed politically just means that, you know, it's never treated equally, and it's always the worst of the situation is played up to your political side. And so, you know, here it is unfolding again, another one. Okay, here's this new thing. There's always going to be something round the corner, right? These truckers are coming out, they're protesting against mandates, which they should have the right to do. People should have the right to protest. If you agree with them or disagree with them, that's part of living in a democracy. And a quote I heard a while ago that got stuck in my head, that like living in a democracy is being perpetually annoyed. There will be people who have different opinions to you. That is part of being in a democratic society, that we're supposed to get along together and tolerate one another when we have, you know, differences of opinions on these things. But that seems to be evaporating with this increasing polarization, and it's just madness. It's like, where does this end? I don't know. I don't know where all of this ends. So yeah, that's my... Oh, do they have to be the same colour? Well, there you go. That's my waffle. I feel like I've said most of what I wanted to say. I'll probably have more to say when I read your comments. I'm keeping that quote, says Little Ham. It's a great one, right? It's a great one. It says so much about what democracy is. I think too often people think it's my idea of democracy. Democracy is existing with people who have different ideas. Alpen Glow Up, thank you for 20 months of support. Greatly appreciated, my dude. So yeah, a chat, I'm reading you now. I saw some of you were putting in some paragraphs while I was waffling. I wanted to get my waffle out of the way. This is why it's important that you have independent news agencies, not two corporate identities who own like 95% of the outlets. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And also, we're living in a time where news itself has got bad incentives. Outrage gets more clicks. So, you know, there's an incentive to, this thing is happening, now let's find the way to make it the most worst and clickable thing we can, right? I think a lot of what is going on is because people forget to respect others if they're different, says Mum Divine. Yeah. We need to respect one another. Like I took my vaccine. I'll take booster shots. There's this quote that goes around called trust the science, and I've heard it criticized recently. And I actually thought I understand this criticism, and it's quite potent, because trust the science doesn't teach you the science. It doesn't give you the tools or the understanding. And a lot of the authoritative figures have spoken with a lot of certainty, where science is, in a way, an uncertain process at times. You know, they need to talk with the language of, like, here is what we recommend currently based on the latest available data, and it's not often communicated that way, and that doesn't educate people and can sow a lot of mistrust. I think our institutions do need to do a better job. But having an active interest in science and, you know, a curiosity for learning about it, none of this vaccine stuff scares me, because I've learned so much about it before it became a current thing and became politicized. And I think it's okay for people to be worried or skeptical. Not everyone's a scientist. And someone's going to inject you with something in your arm. In a scary moment in history. Like, I think we need more leeway for people to be able to feel skeptical, but like the answer isn't mandates in my mind. It's not forcing people, it's education and teaching and trying to communicate. And yeah, I'm just worried that like we're just going in the complete wrong direction. So of what I know of this trucker movement, I support. I'm not for mandates at all. However, you know, I will be first in line to take the vaccine, right? And I do that because I've had an active and curious interest in learning about virology, and the immune system and vaccines and all these things for some time, for years. Before the pandemic I was learning about it, and so I'm not afraid or scared of it, and I understand how it's done, but that isn't communicated by the authorities. The authorities speak with a certainty, and I think it would be humbling for them to point out that, you know, science is a process and that the data changes and actions and decisions are made with the best of intentions based on what's available at the time. And with a lack of that, you know, it's no surprise there's so much, you know, chaos around all of this. Politicians are the worst at explaining science, says Manu CL. They are. And here on YouTube we have lots of science communicators who do a fantastic job with it. When he says, I am not anti-vax, I am anti-mandate, I am with X, educate but don't force. Yeah, and another thing that's really concerning to me, I think it was the Australian Prime Minister came out saying that, like, if you're anti-mandate, you're anti-vax. This way of speaking, like, really worries me, because there is a distinction there. So, like, why are you ruling out this distinction? There's a clear distinction. They are not the same thing, and it doesn't look good. It's polarizing. It makes you look distrustful, I think. You know, it's really worrying that things are playing out this way, I think. I think a lot of people are afraid of what the future holds after taking the vaccine. The science won't tell you how your body will react to it years down the road. It'll give you cancer, etc. Sorry, if it will give cancer, etc. I think a ton of people share this for a reason, opt not to get to the vaccine, says Iris Built. Yeah, so yeah, that's probably a very common concern, and there is a scientific answer for that. And again, this is about the communication, like education over telling people, no, you know, the authorities are like, no, take the vaccine, it's okay. The reasoning why is because there is a history of vaccinations dating back over 100 years. We have been using vaccines in society for a long, long time. And historically, as I've heard it, the idea, or sorry, the evidence is, or shows, for all the other vaccines we've used, side effects appear within days, weeks, months at the most. And then, you know, with our history of vaccines, there aren't any where, like, years down the road we have these problems because of them. And so that's a strong reason for why we can take these vaccines now and not worry about long-term side effects. If there are side effects with vaccines that we've used so far in history, they turn up, you know, relatively soon. You know, like, any side effects, like I've had the vaccine when I had my booster shot. Like, you know, well, I got the vaccines last year and my booster shot last year as well. And, like, if I were to have any side effects, like, that window has gone now. The window for me having side effects from it has passed. So I'm good for it, basically. And I don't know if there's any reasons that might change with this particular vaccine, but considering it's a response to a situation, and the history there is that it's good, with, like, long-term side effects, they tend to... There hasn't been any long-term. It tends to just be the first, you know, weeks to maybe a month that you'll see them. Correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the COVID vaccine unlike any other vaccine used before? I don't really know a ton about vaccines, just what I've read, says Aris Built. Yeah, so this one uses a different method. I believe it has been partially used and developed and tested. It's not entirely new and novel. It has a history of development that sort of, you know, just happens. Like, it's almost like, you know, there's another way of looking at this stuff. You can be skeptical, but also, like, the miraculousness of the mRNA vaccine is that, like, it was... If we didn't have that technology, we might be in a very different situation right now. I don't know if there's any cause for concern around it being a new method or whatnot, but This is where I defer to trust in institutions more than be skeptical. Like, I'm not a scientist. I can't see how thousands and thousands of scientists working together around the globe to respond to a terrible situation to give us something to fight back with. I can't see how, like, there would be, you know, mass complacency or ignorance there. It just... There's a lot of efficacy and trials and I don't know, laws, you know, whatever. The whole structure is set up to do this stuff right. I just find it very, very hard to believe that there could be some mass ignorance or mass coercion to, like, get this stuff through, right? But yeah, you know, it is new and novel, but I'm sure they understand far more about immunology than you or I would, and that if this stuff has been okayed, I'm happy to trust them on that. Don't you need those extract on those conduits, says Lucaro? I don't know why, but I've just autopiloted here and done it the wrong way around. So oh, they might be able to insert from the bottom too. That's a interesting idea. Let's set up a little chest with some bait inside of it. Right, these guys definitely don't get enough credit. Without them working behind the scenes, creating vaccines and cures, it's incredible. Thanks for the reply. Always love to hear your opinion on some things, X. Thanks for joining in the conversation, my dude. Yeah, and, you know, being, again, like, this is something I want to encourage all of you to do. Like, being in the edutainment space on YouTube gives you a window into what actually happens behind the scenes. Like, you learn about, like, Crash Course did an absolutely great series of videos on pandemics and whatnot. And vaccines. That's a really good place to get, like, scientific information. Like, just, you know, getting to peer behind the scenes just, you know, on one level reminds you of how little you know, and on another just, like, fascinates me as to how, like, complex some of this stuff is and how hard people work to make it all happen. Bait was the other thing I wanted to grab, that stuff. Let's come over here to the middle. I think we set it to brown, right? So it appears that it can't put it in that way. I wonder if it can put it in from the side. Well, actually, no. We need the side for grass. Oh, here's the thing. Will it actually do anything at all? Let's get a chest and then get some fruit bait. Ooh, it's using something else there. Apple was the one that we're going to go for. Okay, yeah, so looks like it works that way around. So the extract is green. So if we do that, might as well turn off that other channel. After a while, we might just see that this stuff is automated. However, we need more grass blocks, don't we? The chances of the vaccine being dangerous are incredibly low, but it's always good to be cautious. We don't know what we don't know after all, says Juiced. Yes. Yeah, there's always that. You don't know what you don't know. I have a friend use the argument they developed it too fast, it can't be trusted yet. My argument was medical has advanced leaps and bounds since something like the polio outbreaks we used to have. Yeah, you know what I would say to that kind of thing is, like, maybe ask that person to elaborate on the process and, like, you know, go deep on the process. And then, you know, where does it start? Who approves what? What kind of research is done? How the paper's shared? Like, shine a light on how little you actually know about this stuff first can be helpful, I think, because, you know, we can think in terms of logic, like, oh, maybe it's too fast, but then, well, what if you were in charge of doing that? You know absolutely nothing. Like, us, the public, on some level, know absolutely nothing about this stuff, right? Carl says, if you actually look into mRNA technology development, you will learn it has been developed since 50 years ago. We were so lucky we had the knowledge when the pandemic hit. Yeah, it's been developed over a long time. I haven't heard 50 years before, but I was aware of it being like a thing that we're on the cusp of doing. One of the reasons it wasn't done sooner, though, is because there is, you know, a financial element tied up in all of this, and you know, when there's an outbreak, there's a need for something. When the outbreak goes away, the need goes away and the funding dries up. So, like, where there had been, like, I think previous SARS outbreaks here and there that didn't amount to a global pandemic, there was an initial need for these things, so the development and research starts on those, and then those needs go away, and unfortunately it stops. And we're being raided by Impulse! Impulse, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome all the raiders. Welcome to Stoneblock. We're playing Stoneblock today, and I am just building what probably looks like one of the most boring farms ever. And there isn't really a way to make it look pretty either, which is kind of weird. But yes, welcome everyone. We are we're making a farm for, I think, Raw Rabbit that also makes loads of other stuff, as we've got to get all of these items to create the Cosmic Meatballs and the Ultimate Stew in order to craft that thing there. That thing. So I'm going deep down a rabbit hole, and we were just having a waffle about a bunch of political stuff, I guess. X, are you sure it isn't SkyBlock? I hope it's not SkyBlock. I didn't say SkyBlock, did I? Gosh. Pretty sure this is the Stoneblock over here. So yeah, us the player, we're going to teleport down here and just be greeted by this weird looking setup. Ah! Okay, that jolted me. And yeah, I guess we need a storage system here. And a bunch of other stuff too. And I've done my decorating for the day. We're probably not going to make this room look particularly impressive. It'll probably just end up being a square little room. May you be crazy. Thank you for the cheers and the biddies. Greatly appreciated. Was it a waffle pizza? I mean, if you put the right toppings on a waffle, does it become a pizza? Oh god, that sounds amazing. Thank you, may you be crazy again. Can you tell us a random fact about Minecraft? Says Lil Blue Alien. A random fact about Minecraft? My brain's terrible, I can't think of anything. Now, I'm slightly concerned that we got nothing so far. Oh, don't tell me there's some other element. Oh, I'll tell you what, actually. I'll tell you what. Speaking of elements, Project E. It could be a speed. Right, so let's go back to where we first experimented on this. Now I'm hungry, says Daisy. Yeah, I'm always hungry, me. I had some good food today. Good food. Good cooking. Made myself a, I don't know what you call it really. Like, if you have a sag bhaji, right? Curry dish, Indian food. Or like a sag paneer. Sag is spinach. So I had a sag whatever tuna is. I mixed onions, spinach, garlic, tomatoes and tuna together, and it was really tasty. It was really tasty. I also had a massive curry on the weekend. There's this one curry house that its curries are like, the price of the curry is like really cheap and the portion size is like damn decent. So what I got was some masala sauce, and then I got like 3 vegetable dishes, and that was just crazy, man. Massive bowl of food. But I can handle it at the moment. I'm enjoying it. What can I say? Here we go. Right, so we do that. The whole thing just happens to be in the area, right? That's great. So is that going to speed this thing up? I'm really concerned about this now. I don't want to put in all this time and effort and then just find out. Nope. Oh my god, that sounds yummy, says Ducky MC. Yeah, I love my curry. It's my favourite food. So look, this thing got fully used over here. Maybe it's the water. So did the ones at the back. Maybe they need like distance to the water. What happens when we break these? We get all the blocks. So take all of that. Let's head all the way back. Now it's curry again. Lol, says 4Gil. Hey, you know me. I love to waffle about it. Hi, I'm from North India where spinach sag originated. Cool. I would one day love to visit India and enjoy the cuisine in its proper environment, you know, like where it came from. That'd be super cool. What do you reckon, peeps? Do you think it might be water? Hopefully it's not these other blocks that we've added. Are you vegetarian, says Hand? I'm not, however, when I have curry it's always vegetarian because it's just so much nicer. I find that's the one thing with Indian food is that it's actually like it with a lot of food. Meat tends to just like be like, here's the dish, all this flavour, and oh, there's the meat. You know, like I've never really, I can't think of like where the meat is like the main source of flavour. But yeah, you know, Indian food is some of the best vegetarian food you can get. Okay, waffling about curry is great, but what about curry on a waffle? Nah, that don't sound right. That don't sound right. One thing I would really like is like an Indian dessert. I don't know if there is much in the way of desserts when it comes to Indian food. But like, I've never had an authentic Indian dessert. I don't know what they do for dessert. Like the curry houses, they never have a dessert menu that isn't like something British or, you know, from a shop like a Ben and Jerry's ice cream, right? Chat, I'm scanning for suggestions. Does no one know why this isn't working right now? I'm even gonna test taking this stuff away, right? No, Curry House near me sells ice cream in cow toys. I've seen that before. I'm pretty sure it's not an Indian thing. It's just a I don't know, something they get their hands on. To use the ground trap, place the crafted trap in the ground, touching at least one grass block on each side. At least one of those 4 grass blocks is touching an additional grass block on the opposite side. Together with grass blocks, this formation creates a horizontal cross of 4 blocks high and 3 blocks wide. Are you saying that there needs to be blocks below here, like at this level? Is that what I understand? Because I guess the other area had stone below it. It didn't have that. Light level. Oh, light level! Oh, very smart suggestion. Let's find out if it's the light level. Oh, GG. You might have just saved... Who said that? Who? Hag Manon. You might have just saved the day, my dude. Let's find out. Did Hag Manon save the day? Well, we might have to wait a little bit, but that's a good shout, I think. No, you need just gaps of 2 between some of the rows. That's not what we had set up before. We didn't have gaps. I once had Indian sweets with pistachio. I don't know what they were called. I don't like pistachio, so I didn't like them. Yeah, I like pistachio nuts, but some nuts stress me out a bit. Indian here. Eating food from India's streets will mess up your stomach, especially if you're not from there. Oh yeah, that's to be expected when you eat abroad anywhere, really, right? It's all different. You had gaps, as in staggered. No, we had grass all the way around it. Oh, wait, I think... Okay, if I understand what you're trying to say, actually, let's not, like, the terminology staggered and gaps, like, I think you might be referring to the proximity to other ground traps, I guess. But still, we got nothing. I mean, I might just take that out and put it back in, right? This thing should be speeding it up. I don't know if it works in proximity to the player either, which might be messing with us. If I go hide. It needs a plus shape of grass off one side to the trap. Dang it, I am so confused. It's hard to understand what you mean. So maybe if we go and like test this one out, let's get some more fruit bait. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go research that one. Just imagine a Christian cross with a trap in the middle. Oh, that's really quite different, right? So you're saying that I'd also need grass there then for that one to work. It did just go, it literally just went down by one after I put that block there. That's fascinating. Let's go ahead then and assume that we also don't need water, because that other one was near to the middle. So I'm going to take away the water. Wow, that's a promising sign. Okay, so with that in mind, let's build them. Oh, I couldn't. Let's build it like this. Right, I'm gonna just try and get rid of a whole bunch of this so we can look at it different. Okay. So it needs that shape, right, is what we're saying? It's working now. Interesting. Okay. So that means the next one... I'm gonna rip out pretty much everything in order to do this. I wonder, do we have like an item transfer thing? You know, we've got the flux power. Do we have like the equivalent of that for items, so I can just have a little node that sits on top of it? I can't think if we've done something like that. That'll look nicer in this room, I think. Right, that helps us with this top area-ish. Still got some left over. So how are we going to tile this? Those are the ground traps. So like. Yeah, I kind of feel like if I rip out all of the grass, it'll just be easier to visualize for the time being. This is probably when I'm going to learn that this is obnoxiously in the way, perhaps. Yeah, like it would mess that one up from working. Maybe what I do is I raise it up a block. Then that would mess with that. I kind of feel like this room should probably be off to the side. Like we should. I'm gonna change the size of this room, right? So let's go ahead and draw a border on the edge, which is where I will come down, which would then make, I guess, the center somewhere over here. Right. Okay. Ugh. Now, I don't... Oh, there we go. There we go. It needs to be forward by one block. So that's our new middle of the room. That right there. I don't know why that went transparent for a second. Let's go ahead and literally rebuild all of this from a different angle. Ah! I'm out of the room all of a sudden. Ah, there's something here. That old problem, eh? What if I went in the other direction then? You know, one of my biggest pet peeves, not really a fan of that term, but one of my biggest gripes with this game sometimes is just when you're projecting and you just have to like keep redoing, and I just sometimes wish there was like a quick way to move stuff. So from the middle, that was like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And put this over here. Yep, and then you can see it's lined up correctly. Wonderful. So obviously this cable needs to go somewhere different. That's fine, we can deal with that later. Now we get to build out our farm, so let's put in the edges of this thing. X wireless transfer, Silic item transfer node. Oh. Silic item transfer node. Dang, that looks amazing. We will have to try that. Thanks for the suggestion. If anyone lives near a Chinatown in your city, it's going to be packed today, says Chiramo. Is it like Chinese New Year or something? Oh. Oh, I see. This is actually the edge here. Well, anyway, peeps, I told myself that I would do a shorter one today and give myself the evening off. I'm a bit disappointed we haven't finished this farm, but we've already got what we need just by goofing around with it, so we'll probably finish this one off next time and continue plugging away at these. My, oh yeah, that's right, it's supposed to be one further out. My current plan is to maybe, like, slow down the amount of streams I'm doing a little bit as well, so I'm not entirely sure when the next one... Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to stream again tomorrow. We'll do 1 or 2 more, and then on Friday, we're launching the Let's Play Minecraft Together free server. If you want to be a part of that, you can go to xisumavoid.com/get-whitelisted. You can use Twitch, Minecraft, or Patreon. Today will be your last day to sign up and get instant access with Patreon. And yeah, that launches on Friday at 8 PM. You can look at my Twitch schedule to see it. And yeah, I'm going to be speed running the End Dragon at the beginning of the new season. So if you're looking for a vanilla survival Minecraft server with lots of extra features and cool stuff, then be sure to check out the Let's Play Minecraft Together server. Otherwise, that's the end of the stream from me today. So be sure to hit the follow button here on Twitch. And let's pick out a random Minecraft channel to go raid today. So, massive thank you to everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated and cheered. As always, I appreciate your tremendous support. Thanks to all my Patreons, mods, and all the peeps gifting subs. Y'all are appreciated. Okay. Down we go. Down the list. Sub 100. Just trying to find a channel that looks like it's in English. Okay, someone's doing speed runs for a world record. Dang, I'll send you over there today. Alright, well, you know the deal, that's it. Hit the follow button, hit the raid button, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.